7:49 on the Wednesday edition of Jacksonville's Morning News. Rich Jones, Christine Bellino, Benjamin Pritchett live at TPC Sawgrass, and we are connected to Volunteer Village, a different location from years past. And one of the main reasons is we always talk about and usually hear from volunteers throughout this broadcast, the 2,000 or more who are such a key part of putting on this tournament every year. We're like, well, why don't we just saddle up right next to them? And they let us do so. So here we are with Luke Pritchett, the volunteer chair who also works at Ring Power. And Luke, what does it take to pull together 2,000 or so individuals? How early are you in communication with all of them?
We start in the summer, so it's a full-time gig for us. The real true kickoff date, believe it or not, some people every year underestimate, registration opens in September and October. And about an hour after registration opens, oftentimes registration is full.
Registration for volunteers.
Registration for volunteers, correct. So we opened at 9 a.m. At 9:30 a.m., we had 957 volunteers registered. So if that gives you an idea of just how much a draw this is that.
Plus a waiting list?
There is often a waiting list for certain committees, yes.
Do you get to that?
We do.
Okay.
It's a double-edged sword. We hate that conversation in February when we have to tell people, I'm sorry, we're full. Please sign up earlier next year because we'd love to have you.
When did you first volunteer and how did you get involved?
I got involved, I was a standard bearer as a kid, and then just had a little taste of Darlene's Diner, who you're right next to here. The egg sandwich will change your life. Something about cooking 2,000 eggs a day. I hope our community knows how much data we track out here. We actually have an egg counter, so they know exactly how many eggs they're cracking every day. Last year, I think we got over 2,000 eggs served in a 4-day stretch.
Oh, that's crazy.
And most of them pass through Darlene's hands.
Absolutely. Yep. The line goes around the corner.
That's great. And Darlene's Diner is in Palatka, and so it's a local restaurant that's a part of this experience here. When you first got involved, it was a family sort of thing.
It was a connection. Yeah, the way I was introduced to the tournament, my dad was a volunteer, so I started coming out here as a kid, and just the conversation progressed every year. A couple of years in, it was like, all right, I came out here because my dad introduced me to it. Now I come back because of the connections I have here. It's it's a family. People hear us say that a lot of times as a new volunteer, and they go, huh? And I say, if you don't like it, don't come back. And we track things. We track our retention rates. We track our returning volunteers. Try to quantify as much as we can. We're always trying to get younger people connected into the tournament for that next generation, but we're trending well. Retention is high. New volunteer registration is high, so numbers are up.
Do you see a lot of the new generation that has been a part of this from Dad's generation before now into 52, 53 years of this tournament, that a lot of kids are now going to take on the mantle going forward?
That's exactly right. Yeah, we're starting to see it right now. That next generation is coming in, and we're trying to help make sure we're drawing all that wisdom out of the previous generation before we send them to pasture is what we tease them about. But we're really we're trying to carry that torch of just this is the way that we give back to our community. I say it all the time that, this is my thing, that I think we're wired in a way to be a part of something that's bigger. This is how we give back to our community. And years ago, I saw something in a newspaper that said, each volunteer giving 36 hours represents about $2,500. That was 20 years ago. So this team is how we're able to give $12 million to local charities, and not just charities, but local charities, and you get to see that impact every day.
Operation New Uniform being one of them. We'll have a chance to visit with them at the top of the hour. They were a beneficiary at last evening's military appreciation ceremony. Is communication truly the line between success or failure this week for you all? Making sure that you're communicating with each other?
Absolutely. We say all the time, sweat the small stuff. We can't overlook anything. Don't assume somebody else knows what's going to be done. Our job as volunteers is we always thank the PGA Tour for everything that they have laid out for us, and our expectation that we set for our leaders is now we execute. On behalf of the PGA Tour and this community, it is a pleasure to do it with a smile and do it with excellence in every single step that we take out.
And I was going to say, you say sweat the small stuff, but you do not look stressed. You look very calm, cool, and collected this morning. Is that just a facade?
That's because of my teammates. I know the crew that is behind me, beside me. We say there's a time and a place to lead from the front. There's a time and a place to lead from the back. 95% of our time we're leading from the middle, arm in arm, just kind of locked to go. We want the guest that I'm interested in the most is the person that's never been to the Players. I'd love to catch up with them for 5 minutes at the end of the day and just hear, man, everywhere I went, these volunteers in shirts, they changed the experience for me, and that's what we love to do.
What do you most encounter out on the course?
Really, it's just an explanation to most of our guests of, hey, do you know all of what's out here? a lot of times people come to the tournament and they don't make it past the merch tent, which is always the first stop for me. I've got about 500 hats in my closet. I'd say 400 of them say the players on them somewhere. So try to beat me is the challenge I put out there to the community.
And then around the ropes and whatnot. I mean, marshalling and those kinds of things. Are fans through the years relatively respectful?
This year, I'm responsible for spectator services, so that's everything fan-facing. Me and the team of 6 have different divisions. So for my division, it's everything hospitality, everything fan interactive. I'm tracking everything to make sure the lines at the restrooms aren't too long, making sure the banding is going well with ticketing, all the things that just get them in front of the game and get them in front of our local Taste of Jacks, all the food vendors, all the things that are just, is the fan experience is exactly what it should be.
So for anyone who's driving here today or will be coming here, we're looking for you in a color, right? What's the color this year?
Blue, light blue. It's past
Baby
couple
blue.
years we have locked in some shade of blue. We have a couple different volunteer shirts, but we bleed blue around here. We think that's kind of our color, blue and gold, so we embrace it.
It's a good baby blue that'll shine brightly on TV a little bit later in the week, right?
That's right.
Luke, appreciate the visit. Luke Pritchett is volunteer chair, and get after it this week. It's going to be a great week. A little hot to start off, but it's going to be really nice. Thanks for the visit. Appreciate it. 7:55 on Jacksonville's Morning News.